In today's episode, we're going to talk about how to craft an offer so freaking tempting, it's going to have your clients say, "Take my money now." Coming up. All right, familia, we've been on a roll with these episodes talking about cash flow strategies, email marketing strategies, and part of that is crafting an irresistible offer, because here's the deal. We can have the best marketing in the whole world, the best copywriting, the best, subject lines and the best emails, the best social media content. But if the offer is wrong, everything else is in vanity. Everything else is in vanity. The reality is, if you want to create the kind of momentum and really just a lot of headway in terms of your dollars, right? In terms of sales, in terms of clients, in terms of customers, you need to have an irresistible offer. And that's what today is all about. Because let's be real, even here on the podcast, I like talking to you guys about the things that I see you guys are excited about, right? So I will look at my analytics every single week. How many downloads did the podcast get? What are the topics that are trending this week? What are you guys interested in? And time again, it's always top of funnel kind of stuff. And when I talk about top of funnel, what I'm really referencing is the very start of a customer journey online, right? And so that's usually social media content, blogs, podcasts, YouTube stuff, traffic, all of the top of the funnel, the first couple steps. That's what I would say 99% of experts talk about, because it's what you guys are, frankly, infatuated with, right? The market kind of dictates the content. And sometimes we got to break the mold. Sometimes we got to say, okay, all that stuff is really, really good. It's important. It's helpful. I know that it's the thing that's going to get downloads and it's going to get people's attention. And that's why we do it, right? We're marketers after all, or at least, here at Kim & Co we are. But the reality is that irresistible offers, the thing that you are selling, is the most important part of your marketing strategy. And I know that's kind of unpopular to say. I know that's not super sexy. It's not like the most exciting thing ever, but it is really, really important. If your offer is not dialed in, and more importantly, if you don't know how to position your offer, because what you sell could be really good. You might have an amazing service, you might have an amazing course, an amazing membership site, you might have the best, physical products in the world. But if you don't know how to position your offer to be irresistible, it's going to be really, really challenging to sell it, no matter how good, your reels are, how much traffic you get, whether you go viral. All that stuff is vanity if you don't have this right, because at the end of the day, that's why you're doing this other stuff for, right? You're marketing all of these activities that you're doing, all of that marketing. The whole purpose of that is to build an audience, build relationships, and turn people into customers and buyers, right? Profitability, not just popularity, which is something we talk about here on the show all the time. But how do you actually craft an irresistible offer? And more importantly, how do you do it in the online space? And so what we're going to talk about today really applies for every business, but primarily for online businesses, because that's ultimately who we serve. And so I want you to kind of think about your offer as the thing that, not just the thing that you sell, but the way that you position the thing that you sell. And so a big mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make, myself included, I was there once. Listen, I made all the mistakes in the book. That's why I'm telling you, what to avoid. That's why you're listening to the show. This is the kind of show I wish I had when I just was getting started and I didn't know why my stuff wasn't selling. I was like, but it's so good. My services are good. My course is good. My membership is so good. Why is it not selling? I couldn't figure it out. And so I finally, after reading a million books and going through a lot of direct response training, listening to the greats like Ogilvy and Dan Kennedy, you start understanding the power of positioning. And so here's a really important thing to understand. I'm pulling these slides, if you're watching the video version, directly from our recent Funnels Bootcamp. And so The difference between your product and an offer is so key. The product is the thing that you sell, right? That's your course, your physical product, that's your membership, that's your services. Now, the offer is totally different. The offer is how you package the thing that you sell to make it super irresistible. Now, a quintessential example of this is McDonald's. You'll see that, of course, they are ultra famous for their burgers. And so you could say, oh, well, their burgers and their fries, that's what they're famous for. And so that is like their offer. But it's not. That's their product. That's the thing that they sell. What is then an offer is how they position and package it, right? So they might say, hey, buy one, get one free. So buy, one fry and then get another free. Or, hey, let's give you an entire meal combo where you get a burger, fries, and a drink. And that's the offer. That's how they package and present it to make it super irresistible. And then they might knock the price down, or they might have, like I said, a BOGO, or they might add, something extra to that combo, use like a dessert to make it even more attractive to the consumer. So what we're really trying to do is turning your product into an offer to make it ultra irresistible. It's like how you market and position the thing that you sell. And so when you're trying to figure out how to do that, there's usually like 5 simple steps, right? So these are the 5 key ingredients that you want to have in an offer to make it ultra irresistible. It's very simple, but if you're missing even one of these, especially online, there's going to be problems. And here's why. Online, the difference between selling online and selling offline is that offline, you get a chance to see how people are reacting, how they're responding, their body language, their objections. You get to hear why they're saying no. Whereas online, you don't have the luxury of seeing how people are responding, how what they're scrolling through. And so what you're trying to do is create an offer that hits all the different pain points, that hits all the different objections and makes it really irresistible. So hang with me. These 5 elements are really important. Make sure that you pull out pen and paper so you take notes. So the first thing is the promise. And the promise is basically the transformation. This is the before and after. You can turn this into essentially a hook, but the promise should be something bold, right? Something awesome, something like, hey, and this is typical like weight loss stuff, right? I'm not saying be gimmicky, make sure that the promise is something that your product delivers on, but you'll hear like, hey, lose, your next 3 pounds in the next 10 days, or you lose 10 pounds in 30 days. Bold promise, right? Transformation. So you want to think about where they are now, where is your client and customer now, and where do they want to be, right? Maybe right now they're feeling anxious and sad and depressed. And through your life coaching services, they're going to get to the other side where they want to feel, happy and excited and motivated again. And like they have their mojo back and they understand how to manage all the different facets of their life in a way that's healthy. So your offer needs to have a bold promise. What is the before? What is the after? What is the transformation, right? How are people going to get from where they are now to where they want to be? That is very important for positioning. And by the way, if you want to get even more advanced with this is where you actually get very specific with your offer, where you can niche it down, call out your ideal client avatar and say, like, this is specifically for X or Y person. And that makes it even more exciting because it's like, hey, this is created especially for me. Number 2 is positioning. This is how your offer is new or different, or how it's the next logical step in their journey. So for example, if you are trying to figure out like how do you actually come up with really good positioning, a great way to start is how is this different, right? How is your product, program, or service different? And if you can make it specific for a particular industry or a specific niche, right? Maybe your offer is for busy stay-at-home moms who live in the state of Texas, as an example, or even like in your community. I don't know. Make it very specific based on where, how you serve and who you serve. You want to explain in your offer, how is it different? How is it new? Or how is it the next logical step? The next logical step part comes up if your offer is maybe continuity, right? This helping people have one result and then a different result. For example, for us, we might teach people, like they come to us for content marketing, right? They come to us for content creation, but then they stay because we teach more than that, right? So we teach marketing and productivity and business principles. So for example, if the first offer that I present to someone is one of our courses, like how to create a content calendar or the content calendar system, I've solved one of their problems. Like, hey, we're going to solve the issue of content consistency where you can't seem to stay consistent with your content. You don't know what to post about. You don't know what's going to resonate with your people. Now, let me actually help you turn more of your content into customers. And that's the business lounge, right? That's the second offer. So the next logical step for my clients who are purchasing content calendar system or how to create a content calendar or any content calendar playbook, any of our content creation offers, the next logical step is like, boom, we solved this problem, right? Now you probably also want to know how to turn more of your content into customers. Here's the marketing behemoth that is the business lounge. Let me show you all the things, right? If you want to do blogging, there's blogging courses. If you want to do podcasting, there's podcasting courses. YouTube, emails, copywriting, lead magnet generation, traffic, ads, all of that is in the business lounge. And so how is the offer the next logical step? So again, next logical step is also a reason to really figure out your positioning. And depending on which one you choose, you're going to talk about your offer slightly differently. All right, I hope that's clear. So we got the promise, transformation, right? And then we're going to go into positioning. How is it new, different, or the next logical step? The third one is pricing. And this one we could talk about forever. I think I'm going to do an entire episode just on pricing because you guys have been asking me a lot about pricing. But here is the important part. Regardless of what the pricing is, you want to tell people what the cost is very clearly, but make sure that you price anchor. And the concept of price anchoring is really simple. Essentially, what you're doing is you are educating your market on the value of your offer. If you just tell people a random price, they might be like, well, why are you charging this much? Or why are you charging this little? This doesn't make a lot of sense, especially if you're in a market where there's not a lot of comparison. So for example, if you're in a really saturated market, like you sell used cars, like people know more or less what the price is going to be, right? Like that is dictated by your competition for the most part, unless you're really, really smart and you figured out how to move away from that red ocean into a blue ocean and create your own, kind of space. It's always going to be you're competing against price, which I don't think is a good model, by the way. You should never compete on price. But that's a whole other topic. However, people kind of know what it is, right? But if you're in a market where like information or expertise, most of the online offers, they're not really mainstream, right? People don't know what they should pay for Trello templates, and they don't know what is the going rate for business coaching, especially because it ranges so dramatically, right? You could have someone who's not very experienced charge $100 an hour, and you're going to kind of get what you pay for, or you're going to have people who won't even take you on as a client for less than $50,000 a month, right? So huge kind of ranges in terms of business coaching and what that could go for. Same with attorneys, right? It's kind of same thing. Same with doctors, so many different places where the prices are different. So what you want to do, especially online, if you have any kind of service-based business, course, membership, if you offer a hybrid of those, or if you are like an author, you're selling your expertise, make sure that you always price anchor. And you can price anchor in many, many different ways. What this looks like is sharing what the price normally is, right? So you could price anchor against what the regular price is. And this is what most retailers do, right? So they'll say, this week only, we're slashing the price. It used to be $5 and now it's $3. Right? So that's price anchoring against your existing, what the retail price is normally. Or you can price anchor against a similar service or a similar product. So for example, we'll do this in the business lounge where we will give people two options. You don't have to give people two options. You could just mention what the price, is or how much you charge for something else. But we say, hey, lifetime access is $3,000 or this amount, and then TBL is $2,000, right? So we're price anchoring both of those. You could come on every year annually and pay this amount, or you could own it forever and pay this amount. And the strategy of price anchoring is always thinking about where do you want to send people through, right? What's going to be the best value and what's going to make sense for your business as well. So another example I'll give you, one of our clients is a social media manager. She has an amazing agency. I told her, listen, you should price anchor against what it would cost someone to hire, right? One of your clients to actually hire a full-time social media manager. So how much would that be? That would be at least, $60,000, $70,000 a year plus benefits. So outsourcing to you is a huge cost benefit for your clients. You should price anchor against that. We made that one change in her pitch and immediately her conversion rates went up 15%. So it's one of those things where you want to give people clear idea and educate them for what the value is, but also never assume that your customers are aware of what you normally charge, because they probably are not. And then finally, the fifth element is scarcity. Okay, you need to give people a reason to buy now. And this again is something that can be challenging sometimes. Like, it's hard to figure out, like, how do you create scarcity? How do you actually, make sure that there's a reason for people to buy now? And scarcity is so important. So is your membership closing, right? Is your course closing? Are bonuses going away? Do you have a limited time discount that people need to use right now, or it's expiring? Is the price going up? Do you have limited seats in terms of people who can work with you? There's so many ways of adding scarcity. These are just a couple of them, but you want to infuse it in every single one of your offers. Or well-intentioned people who are excited to work with you will say, oh, I will do it later. Right? We only have a certain amount as humans of decisions, like decision-making capability. Our brain only has so many decisions that it wants to make in a day. So it's going to procrastinate and push off anything that it doesn't deem is absolutely necessary to decide on right now. That's why you see the Steve Jobs, or you saw the Steve Jobs and the Mark Zuckerbergs, who wear the same outfit every single day, because they know that's one less decision. They're making bandwidth in their brain to make one more decision in their business that they don't have to make personally. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's just human psychology for you. So scarcity has to be something that you infuse that is like, okay, I'm gonna get people so excited about my offer that they might be, out jogging and they see an email come in from me and they're like, okay, I gotta run home and actually buy this thing. That's how serious this is. You want to make sure that you are literally adding so much scarcity into your offer, and you don't have to overdo it. Okay, like I'm not talking about like having the price go up and also take bonuses away and there's limited time and right. You don't have to go that crazy, but you do want to add at least one element in terms of scarcity that will get people to make a decision. Are you in or are you out, especially online? Okay, final one is bonuses. And this one's so powerful. Let's go back to the infomercial world, right? Like, you guys, we all have seen infomercials, right? And especially in the 90s when they were so popular. And you remember, if I say this, you probably remember, right? Like, they're talking about the offer and everything that you get in the offer, and then they're like, but wait, there's more. If you order now, you're going to get another bottle of whatever the product is, right? They're like, hey, they're incentivizing people because it's a very powerful psychological trigger. When people see more of something, they equate that with more value. Now, you can't just throw things for the sake of throwing them in. You never want to do that. You want to make sure that your bonuses are strategic and that they're things that people actually want. If you're even smarter, you'll design bonuses that counter objections, right? So if the objection to joining your course or your membership is like, hey, I'm super busy right now, like I don't have time to implement this, then you might want to add in some templates, some done-for-you resources that make the implementation super quickly so people don't have to spend a lot of time. Maybe you offer a service and the objection that you're getting is it's hard for people to craft out or carve out a specific time in their schedule to book a call with you. So what you can do is offer something like Voxer, access, where they can ask you questions throughout the day, or you might be able to just do, instead of a traditional Zoom, one of the bonuses might be, hey, you're going to do an audit or an asset review where you're filming a video and actually going through something that they submit, or giving them a plan or a strategy. I see this a lot, by the way, with fitness coaches, where instead of just booking, 4 or 5 different calls, they might have an initial discovery call with a client, get to know who they are, and then they're putting all the plan together for them and just sending that out in a video so that the client can watch that with their own time. Maybe they're receiving a PDF with their meal plan, and they don't have to book another call to discuss all those things. So know your audience, know what their objections might be, and add bonuses that counteract those objections. I'll tell you this, most people buy for the bonuses. They don't buy for the offer. They know the offer is good, but what gets them over the edge, what actually helps them to get off the fence, is the bonuses. And that's such a critical element of an irresistible offer, especially when you're trying to sell online. So I want to see your courses and your membership and your services have amazing bonuses that make people really excited. Here's another pro tip. I'm just trying to make sure that this works for you. But here's another pro tip. Make sure that your bonuses are not too many. Like, you don't add all the things. Like, do not add everything in the kitchen sink. That will actually make your offer seem less valuable, because maybe people feel like you're overcompensating with the bonuses because the thing that you're offering is not really that good. You don't want that either. So it could backfire. Make sure that you're adding 1 to 3 really tight, really good bonuses. That should do the trick. All right, familia, I hope that you enjoyed this episode and loaded you up with the 5 key elements of an irresistible offer so that you're actually putting something together that people are dying to buy. You combat objections, and when it's time to open the cart or announce it to your audience, they're ready, money in hand, to buy from you. All right, actually, I'm going to close with this. We have done these boot camps for the last 2 years in the Business Lounge, and our members got used to having us pitch them on something really cool at the end of those bonuses, to the point where they were so excited by the second and third one, they're preemptively telling us before we even got into the pitches, we're teaching the boot camp. They're like, I got my money, I brought my credit card, I brought my wallet, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to sell. Because irresistible offers sell themselves, right? It's this whole idea of getting your people so excited about what you sell because it's actually helping them, because it's actually something that they really need, that they get super excited. But with these 5 elements, you get to accomplish that. So I hope that you're putting this into action. I hope that you go out this week, audit your offers, look at these 5 elements, and look for ways that you can tweak them, improve them, make them more attractive. That's the name of the game, especially in this era where we're all competing for attention. I'm so excited for you, and I can't wait to hear if this episode helped you. Let me know over via email, via the website app, via Instagram. I'd love to hear from you. All right, familia, I will see you in the next one. Un beso. Bye for now.